Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you the Facebook insider, Morgan Kahmann. I hope I've pronounced his surname, family name correctly. But Mr. Morgan Kahmann is the Facebook insider who spilled the beans on the way Facebook have been implementing this kind of shadow social credit system in which you will be deboosted and shadow banned if you dare not only to criticize the vaccine, the Rona vaccine, but even if you say for whatever reason to anyone on the platform that you have misgivings about it, or if you don't even want to take it, that will be classed as what they're calling, and this is their words, Facebook's words, COVID hesitancy, or I should say vaccine hesitancy. But the problem with that is, of course, it's implying that you are adverse to vaccines in general, which would make you one of these people that they call anti-vaxxers. That's not necessarily the case. I've had vaccines. Have I had the Rona vaccine? No. Do I want it? You can make your own mind up about that. But I've had vaccines before in the past. I've been vaccinated against measles and TB, tuberculosis, what they used to call consumption. So it's not a case of being anti-vax. It's a case of people having the choice to do what they want with their body. This isn't good enough for Facebook. They need their users to conform. So Morgan here, he broke the story. He felt like he didn't have anyone really to talk to, so he got in contact with Project Veritas. He knew they could do the job, and they together facilitated the exposure of Facebook for who they are and what they're doing. Anyway, look, this is the latest from the whole situation, in which very cleverly, because obviously they're having Zoom meetings, everyone's still doing Zoom meetings, even though they don't have to. And if you've been vaccinated against Rona, why on earth do you need to keep doing this? It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's beside the point. They're having a Zoom meeting to discuss Morgan's future at Facebook. The call is very brief, and they just are there basically with a smirk on their face to tell Morgan that he's fired. Of course, Morgan and James Okeefe from Project Veritas have the last laugh, because unbeknown to Facebook, the Zoom call is taking place with James Okeefe right there, and he kind of gate crashes it, and they immediately hang up. They immediately cut the cord. I've always said if people immediately hang up when you question them, they've usually got something to hide. Anyway, look, enough talking from me. Let's get into this clip. If you haven't yet, though, please like this video if you find it informative. You can subscribe to the Hoggcast on YouTube and BitChute. We are on both of those platforms. Though, to help us out, we could really do with people sharing these videos around. We ourselves are shadow banned, deboosted, and reduced, as Susan Wojcicki calls it, so we don't grow. Not without external help, not like we used to. So if you could do that, and you value independent commentary, if you value people with opinions who go against the grain, now's the time to really share these videos around and keep us motivated. Anyway, let's go.
So the Facebook whistleblower is an HR meeting right now with Facebook. I'm Morgan. I'm going to go in there and join the HR meeting. Come along.
So we wanted to meet with you today to let you know that we are going to be terminating your employment with Milestone effective immediately.
Hi there. My name is James Okeefe. I'm with Project Veritas, and I have to ask you, why are you taking action against Morgan for publicizing these vaccine documents? I'm with the Facebook executives.
This is a private conversation between the company and our employee, and we're going to end the call.
My question is, Facebook has announced that they proactively made it public. Why are you taking action against Morgan for publishing documents that you've already said are public? Okay, they hung up the phone. What happened, Morgan?
I basically told them, they're like, do you have any other questions? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, actually, I have a couple of questions to think about. I said, so what's actually going on here? We never had the investigatory meeting. No one ever told me what this is over, what it's about, or anything. And they said, oh, basically this is about you. They started talking about you violated company policy, and then that's when you walked in. And it was just a bunch of jargon I couldn't hear.
Did they say you're fired?
Yes, they said we're terminating you effective immediately. You will receive your final paycheck this following Tuesday, and they'll send me information about continuing my benefits or discontinuing the benefits.
So this is breaking news, everyone. Morgan has essentially been fired from this company, fired from Facebook for what he has published here. And this comes on the heels of Facebook saying, quote, we proactively announced this policy on our company blog. They proactively announced the policy. We don't even see their policy on the blog.
Nope.
A proactive announcement. How stupid is that? So they are taking retribution on him for spilling the beans about their thoroughly shady goings on. Look, we could get into the whole debate about how social media companies like Facebook and especially Twitter have destroyed society, the fabric of society. Okay, I believe YouTube's different. I know, look, I was very loyal to YouTube until they shadow banned me, deboosted me, and demonetized me. That's fine. I take it on the chin, like I take a lot of things on the chin. But that being said, even though I am not on the best of terms with YouTube, I still recognize YouTube is a video sharing platform different to Twitter and Facebook. When it comes to Twitter and Facebook, these companies are evil, in my opinion. I only use them to share my videos. I used to love Facebook. I used to be on it all the time, to the point when it affected my life. I focused on Facebook more than life. Okay. We all look back at, with rose-tinted spectacles, to the 1990s and the very early 2000s, 2001, 2002, 2003. Life was good then, right? What came after 2003, 4, 5? Facebook and Twitter, right? And now you have things like this. They have, quote, proactive announcements about things they refer to as, quote, and I'm quoting them here, vaccine hesitancy. Vaccine hesitancy. So you have to do what they say. You have to take what they tell you to take. Otherwise you get depersoned. Okay? That's not freedom. That's not a free society. That is not free will. And you know what's coming. They're going to go after him. Okay, let's play the rest of the clip, because he's got very kindly and correctly, in my opinion, because I'm very proud of Morgan for standing up and doing what's right. If more people did what he did, the tide of cancel culture and the tide of tyranny could be pushed back on very quickly, because they're only doing what they do and they're only getting away with what they get away with because nobody ever speaks up. So he's spoken up. They're going to try and destroy his life, but Project Veritas, James Okeefe, have helped him set up a Give, Send, Go. It's on the bottom there. I hope my old TV overlay isn't obscuring the address. I will put it in the description box below anyway, the address, but he's got a givesendgo.com/expose Facebook. That is the support channel for Morgan. He has obviously been fired. He's got a family and children to feed. Time's come to support him because he's supporting us. Okay. Anyway, let's continue.
So Facebook has fired you. How are you feeling right now?
I feel like I knew this was what was going to happen, because they knew this. They didn't want this information to get out.
They didn't want it out. They claim they published it, but it's not out.
Yeah, that's their cover story.
So, fired from Facebook for speaking the truth. You've got the Give, Send, Go link up. You got the 2 kids and your wife and your family. And
so he's got 2 kids and a wife. This is the classic tale. He's a straight, white, Christian male with a family, nuclear family. This is everything they despise, everything the left hates. They will try and destroy him. This Give Send Go, it's lucky I was relieved when it was at givesendgo.com, because if it was GoFundMe, the left would get on there and they would destroy it. GoFundMe would cancel it. And I'm concerned Give Send Go will do the same, because you know what the left are like. They will stop at nothing to destroy you if you threaten their narrative, right? But Give Send Go do seem to be better at that. More robust, a lot more robust than the likes of GoFundMe. But the address is, and I'll leave it down below in the comment section, givesendgo.com/expose Facebook.
I would encourage everyone to go to that website. It's givesendgo.com/expose Facebook.
Yep, givesendgo.com/expose Facebook.
Givesendgo.com/expose Facebook. What happened at the beginning of the call? Because I missed the very, very beginning. What did they say?
It was basically, they had like a trainee on there, and it was basically just like it was a firing meeting. They're basically saying, "Hey Morgan, thank you for meeting with us today. We're going to be terminating you immediately. These are your information for the benefits and stuff like that."
But there's 25% of people on your team and in Facebook that agree with you. So Lord knows one of those people.
So that's an interesting segment there. Apparently, there are a lot of disgruntled employees at the likes of Facebook and Twitter who, although they're in the minority, of course, because they're not allowed to speak out, you can't be openly conservative in the tech industry, right? If you are someone who does not vote for Democrats, if you are not a vote blue no matter who person, generally you have to keep your head down, because the so-called tolerant left are, of course, the most intolerant people you will ever encounter in your life. Take it from me, okay? But what Morgan has said to Project Veritas, James Okeefe, is that a lot of people, roughly a quarter of the people at Facebook alone, actually support him and his beliefs, whether they're conservative or not. They might not even be conservative. They might just be classical liberals. But at least a sizable minority of people are smart enough to know that they're never going to end. It's always one thing, then another, then another, then another. Have you seen that meme? It's called Alex Jones Was Right. It's a jar of coins, and it's overflowing with coins. It's meant to be one of those things where, like a swear box, where you put a coin in every time you accidentally swear. Well, imagine if you swear a lot and then the coin box is overflowing. This is put a coin in the box or the jar every time Alex Jones was right, and the coin jar is overflowing. That's the meme. And you have to admit, although Alex Jones, look, of course, he said a lot of things that are wacky, okay, a lot of the things he said have actually turned out to be true. I can remember, this is how fast things are moving. I can remember not even long ago, we were called conspiracy theorists. We had videos removed and demonetized and things like that for saying they were going to implement vaccine passports. And now look, we have mainstream open discussions about the benefits of our so-called vaccine passports. And now it's evolved into, quote, vaccine hesitancy. So they seem unduly eager to get everyone to do this. Okay, that's why a lot of people distrust it. The more they push, and this could be applied to anything in life, the more someone pushes you, the more you tend to back away, if you understand my meaning.
Probably going to be compelled to speak out.
Hope so.
Moral of the story, don't keep secrets that you don't want the public to know, because someone might blow the whistle on you.
Yes, you're not going to get away with it.
And also, I'm looking at your fundraising website right now. $307,228. That's 61% towards our goal of $500,000. You have raised more.
So they want to get $500,000 for him and his family. They've got, in less than 24 hours, over $300,000. I hope to God he gets every penny. I hope to God, because it's that much, over $300,000. This will drive the left insane. The more that we donate to him, the more the left will get on to givesendgo.com and try and destroy it. They'll try and hack it. They'll try and cancel it. They'll try and cancel him. They will not forgive him. They will not forgive Give, Send, Go. You have to remember the left believe in the concept of blood crimes. I've said this before. So if they can't punish Morgan, they'll try and punish his children 10 or 20 years down the line. That's how they work.
More money. We've had, a dozen whistleblowers? You've raised essentially more than any other whistleblower in Project Veritas history.
That's absolutely unbelievable.
In less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because that's how much people care. People care. That's why he's raised so much money. Which goes to show you the concept of the silent majority is alive and well. We weren't very silent, of course, when Donald Trump was the president, because we finally had someone who understands us and what we need and what we think for the first time ever in a position of leadership. But now it's gone back to the status quo and status quo Joe. Oh, and by the way, did you see the latest press briefing with Joe Biden when he was eating an ice cream? Again, it's another one of these ice cream ones. And all of the mainstream media were fawning over him. What flavour ice cream is it, Joe? And he said chocolate chip or mint chocolate chip. And they were like, oh, wow. That's the mainstream media. And here you have Project Veritas, James Okeefe. This is real journalism.
20 hours.
It's surreal.
Yeah.
Surreal.
Wow. You had some interviews today with who?
Yeah, Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, Gavin McInnes. Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow. Well, there you have it, folks. Breaking news. Morgan has been fired. Just found out on the HR meeting. Let's get this news out. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day, Mark Zuckerberg. I know that you're thinking about Morgan. I know that you've seen this. And my advice to you is do not keep secret from the public what you're doing, because Project Veritas will make it public. We have people on the inside that is going to make public what you attempted to keep secret. The solution is transparency. That's the solution. Before we get to legislation, is transparency. And I had sent this out to some folks, and I just wanted to read this aloud. You know, some men are born great, some men achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Of all the whistleblowers I've worked with and witnessed, Morgan here is authentic. He's to the point. He's no BS. It's sometimes hard knowing that there is bad people in the world, people doing bad things, but there's also a lot of good people in the world, and rest assured there's a lot of good people in positions of authority, including still inside Facebook. So the heroism here is quite contagious. So it's important that you support Morgan. He's just been fired, found out 5 minutes ago, fired, completely fired, and it's important that you incentivize other people to follow in his footsteps by going to his website, givesendgo.com/expose Facebook, and sending a message to everyone else that we're going to create an army of people to follow in your footsteps.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, and that's it. It's about hope. They don't want hope. They don't want you thinking you can have hope. Have you noticed that the censorship, it only goes one way? The cancel culture only goes one way. Have you never noticed that? Things only tend to flow in one direction. Now, if you have the truth with you, if you are correct, if your intentions are honourable, why do you feel the need to cancel any opposing opinion? Are you that scared for your own narrative? Do you have that little faith in your own narrative that you can't have a single voice that opposes it, because that single voice could collapse your whole rickety empire of lies? Because if it is, then you don't really have much faith in your own arguments. You're probably not doing it for the argument. You're most likely doing it for your own ends. And I'm speaking, of course, directly to Mark Zuckerberg there. And I believe that what James Okeefe said is true. I believe that Mark Zuckerberg will see this. I believe he will probably be unnerved by the idea that there are other eyes and ears in Facebook listening to what's happening. And again, I would ask people to definitely go over to www.givesendgo.com/expose Facebook. That is the fundraiser set up for Morgan and his family because he's been fired. And he deserves every penny for standing up. He really does. Anyway, look, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you haven't yet, please like this video. If you found it informative, subscribe to the Hoggcast on YouTube and BitChute. We're on both of those channels. But either way, if you could, share this video around social media. The very social media we're criticising because I'm shadow banned and reduced. Friends and family, normies, that could really help. We are not able to reach audiences like we used to because we are a conservative commentator, and that is thoroughly frowned upon in modern post-millennial society. But keep the faith. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.